Hello, everybody. Welcome to Trek on Tuesday. Hello, Aaron. Very cool shirt I see that you're wearing today.
Thank you, Gina. Very cool shirt that you're wearing as well. I'm happy to be here today. It's kind of a holiday-licious topic we have today, isn't it?
It's a sweet topic, if I do say so myself. We're talking about, I don't know. Let me start with a personal anecdote, Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Maybe I've said this before on the show. When I was a kid and I was in school, basically the moment it turned December 1st, all I thought about was Christmas. If we were writing poems in class, my poems were Christmas themed. If we were, like free to do a craft or a coloring page, it was going to be Christmas themed, holiday themed. Like I was, it's going to be Rudolph, it's going to be Santa, it's going to be Christmas trees, whatever holiday item I could identify. So basically it turned December 1st here at Boy Scouts of America. And I thought, what can we do for Trek on Tuesday that's holiday themed?
It's basically Christmas.
Right. And a little more background. Aaron was kicking and screaming on this one because this is not his favorite topic.
I'm going to offer a counter opinion probably throughout this show. But we'll see. The viewers are the bosses. They're kind of the experts that we rely on to let us know. I'm eager to see what they say. We'll see what happens.
Rob says he needs to get us, his troops shirt to wear. We would wear it. We would wear it. Well, I would. I don't know about cooler, but it's definitely equally cool.
Equally cool, yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Send us those shirts, Rob. We would be happy to wear them.
Yes.
So today we are talking about how to make and decorate holiday cookies, but more specifically because maybe I'm more of a beginner with this, you have to kind of start with sugar cookies. Aaron, thoughts?
I mean, you can start with whatever you want. I was telling Gina before the show, I'm just not that big of a fan of sugar cookies. I don't get it.
Oh,
thank you, Brian, for putting that
wow.
up. Brian did not tell us he was going to do that. That's kind of true on both accounts. I'm just not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of sugar cookies, or for that matter, the last 6 Star Wars movies.
Now, I'm sure we're going to get to discuss Star Wars many, many more times on this show. But today we're talking about
someday we'll figure out what they're doing, and there will be a new Star Wars movie 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Until then, let's talk about sugar cookies.
Yeah. Feel free to comment about your Star Wars thoughts, and if you disagree with Aaron. But on cookies, I have a few questions to start, Aaron.
Yes.
Do you like?
I like cookies that taste good.
Excuse me?
I know. Call me crazy. I like cookies that taste good.
Wow. Do you like the kind of cookies that have like Christmas and holiday shapes in them, and you cut them and they're just little circles with like a picture in them? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, I don't. I know. Cookies to me, what you're describing are sugar cookies. You're describing holiday sugar cookies. And yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, let him know.
No, I think
let him know if he should change his opinion.
Yes. The only sugar cookies the only way that you could make a sugar cookie taste good, in my opinion, is to like dip it and soak it in chocolate. That might do the trick. And I'm pretty sure there is some sort of cookie out there that's basically a sugar cookie with chocolate over it. I don't know what that is, but I think that exists.
Well, you could do this with, let's say, like a red velvet cookie that you've let cool. You definitely have to let these things cool. You could, well, actually, this is a series of yes or no questions, Aaron.
Okay.
Would you like a red velvet cookie?
I'm going to say yes.
It's a yes or no question.
I said yes. Red velvet
okay.
That's basically chocolate. It's a kind of chocolate, I think, right?
Yeah.
Now, did you see Janice has an interesting, I don't know what this means.
Do you like spritz cookies?
I don't know what they are. I don't know what that is.
Would you like a butter cookie?
A butter cookie sounds good. Yeah, Janice, I'll take one of those.
Would you eat an Oreo?
Send it to me, care of Scout Life Magazine, please. Thank you. Oreos, of course. Yes, Oreos are delicious.
Would you eat a chocolate chip cookie?
Yes.
A gingerbread?
Maybe.
So gingerbread seems to be I'm thinking like in terms of the cookie texture, it's very similar to the sugar cookie. Like it seems like you could definitely sub that in for today's cookie, but it just sounds like you're basically against the holidays. So there's no way to make you happy. My suggestion, if you also don't like sugar cookies, which you could at home, and that's totally okay. I'm just kidding with Aaron. I think that you could find a different cookie to make this with, or make the sugar cookies, because I think most people like them if they don't have an allergy. And you could
Well,
make these and then you could give them as a gift. You'd want to
as
give it pretty quickly so the cookies stay fresh, though.
as behind the scenes Brian suggested before the show, you give them to someone you don't like. It's perfect. Yes, it's a great gift.
Do you like oatmeal raisin cookies?
I do like oatmeal raisin cookies. Yes, those are
Ooh,
good.
Rob's got the perfect solution
Oh,
right
that's an
here.
excellent trade, Rob. I'm a big fan of oatmeal raisin, actually. Yes, perfect. Bring it.
Penny has another suggestion for you. You could use almond flavoring in your frosting for sugar cookies. It makes
Okay,
them delicious.
now that's interesting, Penny. I do have like almond creamer for my coffee that I like, almond milk creamer. So could
Yeah.
work.
It could work. Guess what, Aaron? Xavier is in the house today. We missed you, Xavier.
Xavier, yeah, it's good to see you again, buddy. That's awesome.
Xavier, chime in if you like sugar cookies. Let us know.
bet he
If you
does.
missed it, Aaron doesn't really like them.
My wife and kids love sugar cookies. So during the holiday season, especially, there's always sugar cookies in the house. And I just have to basically ignore them.
What is it about the sugar cookies? Is it that there's
I
salt or
think
something?
the fact that it doesn't taste good, I think is what it is. The fact that
Aaron, it's a
it just
genuine
tastes so
question.
bad, I think is probably what bothers me the most. Yeah, I think
it
that
tastes them differently.
sugar cookies taste like 4 out of 10. Okay. Actually,
Wow.
Xavier, I think he might be onto something. I might even say 3 out of 10. I mean, it tastes like sugar. I'll give it that. I mean, sugar's good. To me, sugar cookies taste like sugar on cardboard. So if you put sugar on cardboard, probably be fine. 4 out of 10.
I definitely
maybe
don't
3
think
out of
they're
10.
my favorite. I don't give them 10 out of 10. They're not my favorite cookie. However, will I eat them? Or if they're in front of me? Yes, I ate one today. Of course I will.
Well, thank you,
Xavier
Xavier.
agrees with you, though.
Yes. I think this is my theory about sugar cookies. No one really likes them that much. But what they do, they symbolize holidays. They symbolize however you celebrate the holidays. You can decorate them as you like. You do it as a family. I will admit it's a great activity to do with kids, as we promote on scoutlife.org. And my wife used to have a lot of fun when my kids were younger, and they would gather around and make sugar cookies. They're easy to make, right? And you can be kind of creative, almost like a Pinewood Derby car. You can decorate them very creatively and express yourself, make them unique, make them your own. So I do respect that aspect of the sugar cookie. I just don't respect what happens when you take a bite.
Well, that's fine. Maria makes a good point. You just haven't had a great sugar cookie
Okay,
yet. I agree.
That could be true, Maria. Yes, that could be true.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, okay.
We're calling these holiday cookies. Honestly, depending on what shape cookie cutter you have, they could be any kind of event cookie. They could just be an average sunny day kind of cookie. But this is a story that we have pulled from the pages of Scout Life magazine. We also have it on scoutlife.org. And what we're going to do first is just kind of rapidly talk through the process of making not only the sugar cookies, but what we're going to need to use to decorate, which is the icing. You don't have to take notes. Like I said, this recipe is on scoutlife.org and in your Scout Life magazine and in the app, actually, Scout Life app. But then at the end, we have, if you're on like TikTok or different social media channels, you've seen like these very kind of almost addicting videos of like people making sugar cookies. It's very much a thing right now. People take courses, all kinds of things. We got at Scout Life a real cookie decorator to come in and tell us how to do that. So you don't have to go like schedule a training with a cookie decorator. You don't have to try to break it down on a TikTok video. We'll show you how to do that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Sound good, Aaron? Does it sound delicious?
It doesn't sound delicious, but it does sound like fun. I do admit it is fun to make things, much like a gingerbread house. Making a gingerbread house is fun. Do you want to eat it? No, not really. But making it's fun.
Well, I'm glad you're on the show to represent a small portion of the population who doesn't like sugar cookies. It's good you're here.
Yes, that's what I'm here for. But again, as I said before, I kind of wonder if maybe we are the silent majority. There's more of us than you think, Gina, is what I'm trying to say.
I believe that. I believe there might be more of you than I think, but I do not believe you are the silent majority.
Well, we'll see. Xavier and I are on the same side. So Rob and you're on the same side. So we'll have to see how it works out.
Robin?
Rob.
No, he likes sugar cookies.
Yeah, so he's on your side. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And so are all the other people in the comments.
Are they though?
Yes, there. Okay, so again, go to scoutlife.org if you want to get a rundown of all of the ingredients in these wonderful sugar cookies. They're pretty basic. They're mostly things that you'd have. We're talking flour, baking soda, baking powder, butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla. Of course, you need cookie cutters, nonstick foil, a large bowl, cookie sheets, mixer, cooling rack, rolling pin, whisk, spatula. Talk to your parents if you don't have one of these and you're a young person watching, because sometimes there's different tools that will double for different things. I definitely used alternative items for a rolling pin personally. It's one thing I'm thinking. Or a cooling rack. Oh, and we've got them up on screen. That's awesome. So these are the ingredients you need to make the cookies. But we've also, this is what I think makes us unique. We are sharing the ingredients for making the icing, Aaron.
Yeah,
can you
the
believe
icing might be the worst part of the sugar cookies.
What?
Just looking at the pictures of the icing there, I can almost taste the nothingness just as we look at the pictures. It's great.
Now you're throwing me off. I'm just going to ignore that respectfully and let you know, everybody, if you're watching this, we've got a link to this recipe in the comments wherever you are watching. But if you want to make icing, you'll also need powdered sugar, water, gel food coloring, like according to whatever you're making, or if you want to get creative with the colors, we'll get to that in a minute. You need a little bowl and a spoon. And then this is optional, but I don't think it is. If you want to decorate the way we are going to talk about today, you need a sandwich bag, tape, and scissors. You also probably need like a toothpick for what we are going to demonstrate at the end of today's show. And then what you're going to do is you're going to, first off, if you are under a certain age, if you are a young person watching, you need to get qualified adult supervision to make sure
Don't just go into your kitchen on your own. Make sure you ask your parents for permission before you start.
Yes, honestly, we are talking about hot oven. Most everything else related to this is pretty safe, other than if you have food allergies or if you are going to try to shovel sugar into your mouth. I don't think that's probably safe. You're going to need an adult to keep you accountable on that one, though, I think.
Agreed.
My thoughts.
Agreed.
Okay, so
agree.
The process is super simple. You're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And if you are like me and you don't like to do the dishes, you can line 2 cookie sheets with foil, or you could use nonstick cookie sheets. You could use probably parchment paper, however you like to bake your sugar cookies, or your parents like to. I bet that they have some thoughts on that. And in a large bowl, you'll add your flour, your baking soda. You're going to mix all those dry ingredients together. Then you're going to bring in the power mixer and cream your butter and sugar. I find this to be the hardest part personally. You can add eggs and vanilla at that point. You're going to sprinkle some flour on your counter. This is where we get a little different. You're going to form a big ball of dough and roll that dough to the ball itself is approximately 3 inches. And then you want to roll it down to about a 1/4 inch thick using the rolling pin. This is important for this kind of cookie because we are using a cookie cutter, remember? So then you're going to use your cookie cutter, whether they're star shaped or maybe they're Christmas tree shaped or what have you, and you're going to stamp out your cookies. I think this is a very fun part. Aaron, thoughts? Do you dislike shapes?
No, actually, I agree. This is the only worthwhile part of sugar cookies is making them. Great activity to do with family. Probably a good activity to do with the Cub Scout pack. Actually, you probably want to check and make sure there's no allergies and things like that. And you, of course, want to be safe. Those cookie cutters, mostly harmless. But, if you get a little finger stuck underneath there, you can pinch a little bit. Yeah. No, I think the process of making the cookies is great because it's a creative expression. You can choose your shape. We're going to talk a little bit about the icing. You can make different colors. You can decorate them. Like I said, it's kind of like a Pinewood Derby car. I am all for this part of the procedure. I just highly recommend that when you're done, either just put the cookies in the trash or leave them out maybe for decoration or give them to someone like Rob that we don't really like that much.
Oh boy, Aaron's just kidding. I think maybe you're the perfect chef for sugar cookies because unlike most of us, when you get done, they're all still there.
Yep. That's
exactly I'm finished and I have like icing on my mouth because I couldn't wait for it to dry.
I think sugar cookies make great like Christmas ornaments, like hang them on the tree, put them out, leave them out on the desktop, let them get hard. It's not going to affect the taste.
I do believe there's a different process.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
I
Doesn't
think for
matter,
those
'cause they're-
kind of cookies, there's a different process because you don't just leave. I don't know if you know this, but you don't just leave cookies out because bugs get them.
It doesn't matter. You're not going to eat them anyway. So
Okay, so we are at the cookie cutting section of our process here. As Aaron said, these could be sharp, I guess, your cookie cutters, but also you can get plastic versions that aren't very sharp. So, and they're also really, really, really cheap. I saw some at Target, like less than $1.
and you can
use
cool shapes. You get Christmas tree shapes. We got stars and circles here, but Christmas tree shapes, reindeer, whatever you want to do. I think that's cool.
Yes.
I like that. Yeah.
And remember that you have rolled these down to about 1/4 inch. So this is the best part. After you cut these shapes out, you can put the sugar cookies next to each other. I don't think that they expand a whole lot, but you definitely want to put them about 1 inch apart because they're not like maybe when you make chocolate chip cookies, but they do spread apart just a little bit.
Yep.
This is the best part. You bake only 8 to 10 minutes, Aaron.
It's pretty easy, pretty fast. Even I can do that.
This is the very, very, very hardest part. After you use your oven mitts / your parents to remove the cookies from the oven and set them to cool, you let them cool for 2 minutes. You don't move them. This whole process is hard. You do not move them for 2 minutes. Then you very carefully use your spatula or your flipper to move them to a cooling rack. And then you do not touch them or eat them for a while. You want them to be totally, totally cool, okay? Before we get to this next part. But here's a tip. Sugar cookies taste better when soft, not crispy. A cookie is baked when it no longer has a glass, kind of like shiny finish on top. That's the secret to it still being soft, even when it's cooled down.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's an exclusive tip to scoutlife.org. You won't find that kind of inside information everywhere. I like that. It's a great tip to know. It's because it's tricky. Someone like me who basically doesn't know how to bake things at all, this is the kind of information I need. Sugar cookies taste best when soft, not crispy, baked when it is no longer has that glass finish on the top.
Maybe you just haven't had a soft
A+ advice.
Sugar cookie. Is that possible?
No.
Okay. Well, let me say
real quick, if I could, Dennis, shout out to my friend Shannon in the comments who says Troop 51 is awesome. Thank you, Shannon. Appreciate that. Agreed.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. I like both. I like all the troops. Troop 51,
they're all
Troop
great.
817, Troop 118. You guys all rock.
All the troops are great.
Yes, they are. So, Aaron, when I make cakes, for instance, definitely cookies of a variety of colors. It's not so much an issue with sugar cookies because of just the consistency, but I ice them way too fast. And then there are like little crumbs of the cake that have flaked off into the icing because I didn't like it was hot and it didn't work. I just lack the patience. So don't be like me if you want to have beautiful, beautiful cookies is my advice.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's I would never know that because I would never make sugar cookies because they taste so bad. But that is good to know.
Cake? You probably eat cake.
I do eat cake. I love cake. Cake's delicious.
Yeah, cake's great. Interesting, Aaron. Very, very fascinating. Okay, quickly, I want to tell you guys how you make icing for decorating. So you're going to put your powdered sugar in a small bowl. You're going to add a teaspoon at a time, stirring between each one. A teaspoon of water at a time, stirring between each one to get a thick but movable consistency. So you want to go slow with that because you don't want to have to keep adjusting your amounts. If you did get it a little too watery though, you could put a little bit more powdered sugar in there and see if you can get the right consistency. Next, you're going to add 2 drops of food coloring and stir. This is enough icing for 1 color based on the amounts that we gave you at the top of the show and in the link in the comments wherever you're watching. There's different ways to apply the icing. You can just do the basic spooning it on top and spreading it out, or using a spatula to spread it out. But what we're going to do here in just a second is show you a very fun technique for how you can decorate your cookies. And if you want to see this in more depth, there's different varieties or some other unique techniques. You can actually check out this page. We have a few other videos that are really good. Like those are exclusive to online. You have to watch these videos online. You can't watch them in print. And I think that they're kind of the coolest part of this whole story. Personally, I'm biased. So definitely check out that link in the comments. And
those, correct me if I'm wrong, those videos were made by a relative of one of our staff members who kind of known for being really good at this thing. And she did a great job. I mean, it's very
I
good.
don't.
Very
I
well
didn't
done.
know that, Aaron. Myself, I just could tell she was kind of a pro.
Yep, it was done by the mother-in-law of a young woman who works at the Boy Scouts of America that you and I both know. I don't want to say it. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't want us to be public information,
Interesting.
but yeah, did a very good job.
Very cool. Yeah, she does a really great job. You can tell she knows what she's doing. Aaron, if you're up for it, maybe we can watch how she decorated a snowflake cookie, and we can kind of pause along as we go. And then we'll show it one more time with full volume up at the end of today's show.
That'd be great. Yes, like I said, I'd love to watch this video because this is the only good part about sugar cookies. So,
would you eat a sugar cookie with Cool Whip on it?
Would I eat it? Is it still a sugar cookie?
Yes.
Maybe not.
Would you eat a sugar cookie with the marshmallow and chocolate between two?
If you switched out the sugar cookie for graham crackers, then
Can
yes,
you explain
I would.
what specific? This is a real question. I'm looking for a real answer. What is it about the sugar cookie you dislike?
I think it's mainly what I dislike about sugar cookies again is this that they don't taste any good. They just taste terrible. I think that's
You're
what
being childish because you could describe what
I'm being childish. You're the one that likes the new Star Wars movies. So what I would say about sugar cookies is that they just don't taste that good. But as I've said before, I 100% support this content on scoutlife.org. We posted the link in the comments on how to make them with your family. You know, kids don't know any better. They don't know what's good, what's not good. They'll think it tastes great. They'll be fine with it.
Okay, let's watch this video and see what Aaron thinks.
Maybe this will question. Since you've asked me a question.
Sure.
What does the icing on sugar cookies taste like to you?
Sugar.
Right. Yeah, sugar. So put some sugar on some cardboard.
Do you like cotton candy?
I can have a few bites of cotton candy, yes, because it has flavor. Other than just sugar, it has flavor.
This is just baffling. Let us just stream of consciousness
Thank you,
thoughts
Rusty.
into the comments.
Rusty says yes, they do taste bland. Yes.
He's not saying I just don't like them. They're terrible. They're the worst cookies in the world. He's saying they taste bland. They can. They totally can.
Rusty is 100% Team Aaron. Tiffany, she might be Team Gina.
I pretty much agree with Rusty. I do think I've had sugar cookies I don't like, and I really prefer them fresh.
Okay. Now here's an interesting thought. I think that's interesting. Give it a little bit of flavor, a little cocoa powder.
Do you like icing on on other things besides sugar cookies?
Like chocolate cake? Icing, of course, yeah, because it goes.
So it's the same icing, but you dislike it on a cookie.
Because the sugar cookie tastes bad. Chocolate cake tastes good. That's the difference.
Now Rusty has this is the runner up to Leave No Trace. Never throw any cookie away.
Well, when scouts go camping, you're only supposed to bring as much food that you can eat. You don't waste anything. So maybe you could say the same thing about sugar cookies. Don't make any more than you can eat. For me, that would be 0. But for some people, maybe they want to make more.
Well, you're going to miss out on this very cool technique. Okay. So this is a little peek at some of the other cookies we made in the other videos. We didn't make them. Our expert.
Yes, our expert made them, and I do gotta say, she's good. She knows what she's doing. Those cookies look like they're made
frosting your
at a bakery. This is the kind of cookies you would buy. Yeah, they look really good.
So there's something she kind of says at the beginning. You want to let that cookie cool for 5 minutes, I believe is the amount. We'll fact check that when we watch it with sound in a second. But seems like seems like the hardest part. And we actually show you how to make this icing bag online as well. So you'll be able to do that. But then you have to really use that point to do the neatest possible border on the cookie. I think this is the hardest part by far, but you could do a few test runs, make sure you're getting the right amount out. And then you just do that outline. She goes fast because she's skilled.
She's good. She's very good. This I can just tell from watching her requires patience. Again, I'm gonna compare it to making a Pinewood Derby car. If you really want to add some fine details to your Pinewood Derby car, you got to go slow. You cannot just rush through it. And she's going relatively slow, but I think for her, it's easy. She's done it so many times. It takes practice. Don't be afraid to mess up, right, Gina? Just eat it.
I would be. Now, Aaron, it's like the age-old question with Pinewood Derby. Do you go for design or speed? Do you want a faster cookie or do you want a cooler-looking cookie?
That is a great question. In this case, I think you 100% go for design. You want
I
it to look
agree.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So the next thing is she's going to put bigger blobs of, she's basically going to outline her outline, but she's going to do
Yep.
it with a little bit more icing. And she does not want to go all the way to the edge. And you're going to see why in just a few minutes.
And
Then
she again
fills in that center section.
Yes,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say she's good. It's going to take you guys, if you've never done this before, it might take a little bit of time. That bag she used, homemade, right?
Yeah, and we show you how to do it. I want to call something out here, Aaron. She does that icing very quickly after she does her border. She leaves a little bit of time for it to I think congeal a little bit, but she doesn't wait too long, I believe, so that she can run that icing into the border.
You don't want it to,
she
to
wants
dry
it to be
out,
hard-ish
right?
because she wants it to contain that icing a bit.
Uh-huh.
She also, this is hard to tell, but she'll call it out as she as when we play it with audio, but sometimes there are like little air bubbles that pop up as you're doing this, and she shows you a little technique to just move icing into those air bubbles and fix it. While the icing's wet, you have a lot of flexibility. It's as it dries, it's a little harder or impossible.
And if you're the kind of person that likes sugar cookies, if you make a mistake, you eat it. It's like it's never happened, basically, and then start on the next one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She's good.
What's special about this cookie is the only one we show where we use sprinkles. And the way she's going to do that is kind of like using she's let it dry. She really lets it dry on this one. And then she basically uses the icing as a glue. So she's going to line out everywhere she wants there to be sprinkles. And if you're looking for a guide, you can look at the pictures in our story to see okay, if I was making a snowflake and I want it to look like hers, this is where I will put these stripes. But you can see she's just going from the center out to each point.
And how does she do that so straight? I'm impressed that she's doing like a straight line. Mine would be wiggling, mine would be a curve all over the place. So I would suggest maybe now that I say that,
take your time.
Yeah, take your time. And if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. Maybe just wiggle it around on purpose. Don't even try to do it straight.
It's okay. Yeah, take your time. But the hard thing is you can't take too long because it needs to stay wet because that's how the sprinkles are going to stick to it in a minute.
Right.
I will say we have had artists on the show, and I think if this is an art, like you mentioned.
I do. I agree.
They always say finish your work. Don't just give up because you made a mistake or it's not going the way you want. Finish. Right. And then you can learn for the next time. You can do another cookie after, but don't just stop and eat it. Try to finish it all the way through because then you look at it as like this was just a practice cookie. Or
that is so
maybe
funny.
my imperfections are going to turn out cooler than I think. You just never know.
It's so funny that you say that. My kids, definitely their instinct is to just stop when they've done something they don't like. Keep going. You never know how it's going to turn out.
Me too. But truly, sometimes things that I think aren't going to turn out well, like I'm thinking of even decorating my Christmas tree. When it's done, it looks cool. It worked out.
Right.
I also want to call out at the top of this video, you saw really my favorite cookie that they made for this how-to was the sweater, and you can learn how they made this like very cool sweater design also in the videos at the link that are in the comments where you are watching. Today's been popular, Aaron. I have news for you. A lot of people have watched today and stuck through the show the whole time. Sometimes we see a little drop off. Not today.
Yep, that's great.
Even more people are tuning in right now.
As well they should, because decorating sugar cookies, fun. Eating sugar cookies,
very
fun. Not
extra fun.
Give them to other people.
Well, I think that it's clear to me people wanted to watch the sugar cookie decorating, so I think we should just, cut off Aaron's comments. As Maria says, we love sugar cookie. I think she speaks for all of us, except for Aaron. Todd says sugar cookies are good, though, too. Anyway,
we've got a few people who are on
cut Aaron's audio. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you have a few people who agree they're not your favorite cookies, and that's okay. I can definitely see that. Sure. What I do think the audience really wants to see is us off screen, and they want to hear the audio on that snowflake cookie video, I believe. And again, a reminder, you can check out this story for yourself on scoutlife.org. We have dropped that link in the comments. Click that, head to scoutlife.org. Xavier says Team Aaron.
Thank you, Xavier. It's good to see you again. Glad to have you back.
Aaron needed you today. You came back at the exact right time.
Perfect
Xavier.
timing. Yes, yes.
Check out the full recipe for these cookies, how to decorate them, other tips. Watch the videos. The videos are online exclusive, so enjoy. Aaron, today was great. I can't wait to see what holiday topic we cover next week.
It is going to be great. Everybody enjoy your cookies. If that's your thing, that's great. And as a reminder, this video will be here when we're done. When Gina and I are finished, you can go back. You can fast forward through all of Gina's erroneous comments, play mine back at regular speed. And then if you want to see the videos, you can see it again.
Yes, that sounds great. Shout out to Pack 7 in San Angelo. They're our neighbors to, are they the South?
I believe San Angelo is, yeah, or do I just think it's San Antonio?
Southeast?
Right,
What?
right, yes.
We're neighbors. But,
Thank you for watching, Vicky. Yes, we're neighbors in spirit, yes.
Todd says he likes gingerbread cookies, which is a great call out. I'm pretty sure you could do this with gingerbread cookies. I don't think you could follow the exact recipe and they'd magically be gingerbread cookies, but you could do the icing portion, I think.
The icing portion, definitely for sure. Heck, maybe consider putting the icing on something that actually tastes good. That's a thought.
So crumble cookies have popped up everywhere, if you haven't noticed, and they are all sugar cookies. And so you're just missing out on that huge trend sweeping the nation.
I guess I'm just missing out on that huge trend sweeping the nation, but I'll survive.
Yeah, just like Star Wars, I guess. Anyway, everybody enjoy the video and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the video. We're going to play it right now with sound and everything so you can hear it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Here are some tips for frosting your cookie. The first step is to outline the cookie. The purpose of outlining the cookie is to hold the icing in once we get ready to fill it. So what you do is you start and you're just making a line around the edge of the cookie. It doesn't have to be all the way to the edge. It can be a little more in, and you just ice and then turn your cookie. And you keep doing that until you work your way all the way around the cookie. And we're turning the cookie as we go so that it makes it easier for us to see where we need to outline. Okay, once you've allowed your cookie to sit for about 5 minutes, just long enough so that your outline has time to dry, now we're ready to fill the cookie with icing. Another term that some people use is the term flood, which it means the same thing as filling the cookie. So we're going to put a little bit of icing, just run the icing down, just a little bit into the corners. And then we're going to fill in the middle. Now what we want to do is we want to take our toothpick and we want to pull it over to the sides and down into the corners. Now this part you do need to work a little faster at, or your icing will start drying on you. So then you turn your cookie and you just keep dragging it over to the edge. We're using the toothpick because it's small and it helps us get the icing into these smaller places. Now sometimes as you're icing your cookie, you may get a little bit of an air bubble, and all you do is you take your toothpick, you poke that air bubble and it goes away. Once your cookie has had time to dry, maybe about 2 hours, now we're ready to add the details. So we'll take our icing bag, and this is the time that you can get creative. You can do dots, you can do circles, you can do lines. I kind of like to make mine with lines and dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right in the center, and I'm going to draw one line out to the edge. And then I'm going to turn my cookie, always turning that cookie. Makes it easier to draw where you need to draw. Now I'm also going to add some dots. Just a little dot here. Right around the center of my cookie. And then some more around the outside of my cookie. And again, you just get as creative as you want to. There's no right or wrong way to decorate your cookie. Once I've got my dots on there, I'm going to use just some little colored sugar crystals, also called sanding sugar, and I want to put this on there while the cookie still has some wet on it. And just sprinkle it all around it. And this helps dress your cookie up and make it look fancy. Once you get your crystals on there, you can shake it off and it sticks to where you had your wet icing. Your crystals can be bought at grocery stores, at craft stores. You can even get them online. They come in all colors. I have red and I also have white.